welcome to the review, and this is my walkthrough for the Doctor Who CCG. So I'm just going to walk you through setup and turn flow, so you get an idea of how the game works. So I said in my review, the setup is pretty simple. What you're going to have, basically I have these three different sections here. I have my starting cards, the Watchers, my draw deck, and then my time pile. So for setup, it's pretty simple. You're going to take your time pile here. A standard game is 6, so I've got a 6-1 here. And I'm going to shuffle up like so. And then I'm going to put it there, just off to the side here somewhere. And that's usually pretty good. And then I'm going to go ahead and shuffle my draw deck. Well, actually, then I can go ahead and, first of all, before I shuffle my draw deck, I can put my beginning Watchers out. And I'll put them out like this. Like that. So I have my past, present, and future. And then we're set. And my opponent will put out his Watchers matching. So his past will be here, his present, and his future. So as you can see with that, that's pretty basic setup there. We're going to go ahead and shuffle now, and so this is our game board, basically the unmarked space where the Watchers are. All right, so they're set up and we're good to go. That's simple. It's very quick. So I'm going to draw a beginning hand of 7. 1, 2, 6, 7. All right. So I have my beginning hand of 7, and I got some pretty good stuff. I like it. Alrighty. So I have some good stuff. Alright, so once you've got your beginning hand, the last thing you need to do before you start the game is we're going to go ahead and reveal our home time zone. And so our shows is past. So what that means is until that changes, if I use the past time zone as my time zone for the turn, I'm going to be able to play an extra card or draw an extra card at the end of the turn. So that's all really good stuff, and I got the Emperor of Draconia. I have a Greek Hippolyte. I do have Jamie McCrimmon, and then I do have K9. So I've got some good creatures to start out with. I do have a TARDIS, and then I do have 2 Ancient Laws of Gallifrey. All right, let's say I start. So what I'm going to do is I can go ahead and put down, I can play 1 card into time zones. So I have an option. I do have 2 cards that are past, but none of them are really strong, so I don't know if I want to play a lot of them or if I want to get more resources. I think early on, since I already have a Watcher there, I'm going to go ahead and just play 1 card. So I'm going to go ahead and play my Greek Hippolyte into my past time zone. And I'm just going to put him right there, right under the Watcher of mine. And actually, technically, I could do this because technically they're all creatures there. So there we go. So there's my Greek Hippolyte. And then, since I could play another card there if I really wanted to. I could play that's all I'm going to play there, so that's my 1 card play, and now I'm going to go ahead and draw a card at the end of my turn. So I'm going to draw a card, and actually draw 2 cards instead of 1 because I selected the past zone as my time zone for the turn, which matches my home time zone. So I'm going to draw 2 cards instead of just 1. And that is going to end my turn. And that's it. That's a pretty simple turn flow. So we'll say my opponent, he goes ahead, and let's say his home time zone is future, for example. So let's say he plays a character here, a 2/2, a 0/2/2 creature. So creature has 0 support, but 2 energy and 2 substance, and he plays a character here. So now it goes back to my turn. So now it's my turn, and I have an option here. Alright, so now I do have a creature card here that I do want to play because I don't want to end up being in a bad situation because I don't want to lose my buffer. So my turn, despite the past being my home time zone, I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to select the future as the time zone for this turn. So that means I've got card effects and card plays all have to happen in this time zone, none of the others. So I'm going to go ahead and play my really cool Emperor of Draconia for my card play. And now, what I want to do is go ahead, and I don't want to lose anybody because he could possibly do something I don't want. So what I'm going to do, he's got someone who's a 2/4. Huh. Alright, so what's going to happen? Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of ways to stop what's going on, unfortunately. So, I'm going to go ahead and just end my turn, draw my card. Okay, so let's say it's his turn. Let's say he wants to go ahead and attack. So he's going to select this time zone again, but he doesn't have anyone to play. So he decides to swing in the present time zone. So he's going to declare an attack. I'm going to go ahead as a defender at this point, decide if I want to defend. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to declare my main combatant as my default watcher here. His main combatant is going to be the creature that he has here, the 2/2. So he's going to go ahead and attack with that. So we then look at options to play cards or effects, or I have none to play, he has none to play. So now we look at possible support. Again, the Watcher has a 0 support value, so I cannot support him. He's have to go in it alone. So then we look at just the overall value. So again, it doesn't matter what their separate amounts are. You just add up the grand total for the combat value. So 2 and 2 is 4, so he'd have a 4 combat total. My Watcher is a 1 and 1, a 2, so he's a 2 total. So 4 versus 2, that means that the attacker wins, and the Watcher will be discarded, leaving only my Emperor of Draconia. So I'm going to discard the Watcher, and now it is going to be my turn. I'm going to go ahead and declare future because he's decided to start getting all violent over here. So I'm going to go ahead and play one of my timeless creatures. I'm going to play a Cyberman, and I'm going to play him here in the future. So now I have more firepower, and I'm going to go ahead and decide to go ahead, and it's my turn. I'm going to go ahead and attack. So I'm going to go ahead and he's going to defend with his little 1/1 Watcher. So I'm going to go ahead and attack with my so yeah, he declared who he's defending with, so his main combatant is going to be the Watcher who can't take support. So I'm just going to go ahead and go it with my Emperor of Draconia. So my Emperor of Draconia, I'm going to exhaust him, show that he's attacked. So my Emperor of Draconia is going to attack, and it's going to kill off the Watcher. So now he's lost the Watcher, and now he's just down to a 2/2 left. And it's now end of turn. I would draw a card. And it's now his turn. He has nothing to play this turn. He can't. So that readied character is all he's got here in this time zone. He's just got a really bad run of card drawing right now. So he goes ahead and ends his turn. He draws. So now it's our turn. And that means that we would go ahead and ready the Emperor of Draconia. Alright. So now we have a card play. And I'm going to go ahead and play a flash card, just right off the bat. The flash card says, I could look at any player's deck and discard, look at the top card of any player's deck and discard the card if I wish. Let's say it was a really good card. I say, yeah, definitely get rid of that. So I'm going to play that, get rid of this card. That is a flash card. It's not something that's in the limit. So what we're going to do, because it looks like you might be gearing up, and I want to be able to have a chance to react. So I'm going to this time go ahead and play a TARDIS resource card. So now I've got 3 out of 6. I'm limited here, but I'm going to play my TARDIS here in the future zone. And I did clear the future zone here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to okay, so this has an ability. I'm going to go ahead and first I'm going to attack. So I'm going to go ahead and so I'm going to go ahead and attack his So I'm going to try and get rid of his 2/2. I think. See, this is where the strategy comes into the game because I don't know if that was the best place to put the TARDIS. Sorry, I'm going to attack. He's going to defend with that guy, with the 2/2 creature, and then I'm going to decide who my attacker is. And again, I'm using the Cyberman 2/2 to attack. So that makes it a tie so far. However, I'm going to go ahead and support. So this Emperor of Draconia has a support value of 3. So I'm going to go ahead and exhaust him to support the Cyberman. And the Cyberman then becomes, instead of a 4, becomes a 2. 2 plus 2 plus 3 becomes a 7. So that means that I definitely win that. He would lose the 2/2 creature. And then it would now be my turn. Then it would be the end of my turn. I'm going to draw a card because of what I did. Okay. Those are good. All right. So that would be the end of my turn. Goes to his turn. Let's say he does drop a creature there. And he does decide to drop, let's say it's a 4/3 or something like that. Let's say it's a 3/1, so it's a 4 total. So he drops a creature there and he wants to go ahead and try to hit me because he knows I have no one there who is not exhausted. So it would actually be a hit to me if I didn't do anything. So he drops it. He knows he's going to attack me with it. So he's going to go ahead and at the beginning of the turn, let's say he's declared this is the time zone we're using this turn. So it's the future. But he drops the future creature, and then he goes ahead and decides to engage in combat. He preps for combat first, so he's going to go ahead and announce the combat. I have no one to defend right now initially, but when you announce combat, you have to have at least one main combatant participate. So what I'm going to do at this moment to react to this situation is I'm going to go ahead and play a flash effect. The Ancient Law of Gallifrey, I can cause one of the following actions. I can return the last card played to my hand, or I can stand a sighted creature, or return a TARDIS or a Sideret to its departure zone. I'm going to use this to go ahead and I'm going to play 2 of these flashes, 2 Ancient Laws of Gallifrey, which will allow me to go ahead and actually stand. So I'm going to stand both of my creatures here. So now I'm actually going to have the firepower to actually defend because he announced combat. I now have the people to defend. So now he's going to lose that person because I'm going to go ahead and we have to have a main combatant because he engaged in combat. He's going to attack with the 3/1. I'm going to announce my main defender is the Cyberman again. He's going to attack. And so his main combatant has to be the 3/1 creature, that he declared. So he's going to exhaust him. So right now it's tied 4/4. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to exhaust Emperor of Draconia to give a support of 3. So again, the result is 7 versus 4. So I would win that. So that means that he would lose the creature, and I would be A-okay. And I would not lose anybody. And that means that we would be good. Alright, so that would be the end of his turn. It would go back to my turn. These would go ahead and stand. Alright, so now it looks like you know that things are under control now. So now I'm going to go ahead and play another card. I'm going to go ahead and play a unit corporal, a human. Oh, sorry. First of all, I'm going to declare the present as the current time zone. So I'm going to play a human corporal into there. And now I can play an episode card. Episode cards are not restricted by the 1 card play turn rule, so you can play them, but you only play 1 episode per turn. So I'm going to go ahead and play this episode card, and I'm going to play Genesis of the Daleks. Okay, let's see. So I want to make sure I've got a clear path, because I've got one started already with what I've established. Because I can play this anywhere, but I've got a good thing going. So here's part of the strategy in the game. I'm going to play the Genesis of the Daleks. It plays on his side in that time zone. So I've got Genesis of the Daleks, and now every time he plays a character, it's going to be sided. And he's got to be able to actually get a support of 9 to get rid of this. Now there's one other way to get around this, is if you have a doctor and 2 assistants, you can also side those to automatically get rid of any episode. But as of right now, it's going to basically guarantee that unless he can get more cards down and prevent, stop me at this point, then I'm pretty much going to guarantee that I have a hold on the future time zone now because of that. But I'm going to do that. And now I'm going to go ahead and, now that I do have that up, I think I'm going to go ahead. Oh, that doesn't count against the normal card play. So my normal card play that I'm going to play, actually those are all assistants. Don't need those. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and, so actually I'm sorry. These you can play in any time zone. So at the beginning of my turn, I'm not going to say future, I'm sorry, I'm going to say past for my beginning of my turn. So I'm going to be in my home time zone. But I will play this card here into this time zone episode. Episode cards don't have to match your current time zone for where you put them. So I'm going to put that there, and since I have my time zone being the home time zone that I have, I'm going to go ahead and draw a card at the end of my turn. So I'm going to go ahead and draw, sorry, I'm going to draw 2 cards at the end of my turn. And that is the end of my turn. And so now it would be his turn. So that's a basic run through. I've been able to illustrate combat, the turn flow, what you can do. And let's say that he did have some kind of effect where he wanted to go ahead and get rid of somebody with some kind of flash effect. And he had declared the future time zone, I'm sorry, during his turn. I could go ahead and use this TARDIS to go ahead and exhaust this TARDIS to move somebody I wanted to keep. So I could move the Emperor of Draconia with the TARDIS into another time zone. It would exhaust the character as well. But I can move them into another time zone before he kills everyone off. So that's an example of how cool the TARDIS is in this game. But I hope that gives you a good idea how the game goes, game flow, and what you're looking at. So again, this game definitely, I think, is a very fun game. It really encapsulates the whole Doctor Who mythology pretty well, and the sort of flair, this time travel, and sort of the time continuum and what you're dealing with. So I enjoy it quite a bit. So there you go. There's a walkthrough. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please comment, and I will respond as quickly as I can. So Again, thank you for watching and have a nice day.